Hey guys, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box. My name is Jamie and I know that some of you have been waiting for this, so in this one, we're going to be doing a gaming review for the Redmi Note 8 Pro. But before we begin, I do have to remind you guys that there is a giveaway running for the Huawei Watch GT. Everything you need to know is in the link down below, but I also suggest staying true to the channel because we have a couple more surprises in store for you guys. So sub to the channel and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. With that out of the way, let's get to the key specs of the Redmi Note 8 Pro. At the heart of this device is the MediaTek Helio G90T processor. Now this is the first time I've experienced this SoC firsthand, so a lot of questions have certainly been answered about its performance. This is paired with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage for our review unit, but there is an option for 128GB if you need the extra space for all your media and apps. The display on the Redmi Note 8 Pro measures in at 6.53 inches at Full HD Plus resolution with an IPS LCD panel. The most surprising bit about this display is that it actually supports HDR. It's definitely decent for consuming all kinds of content and of course, playing games. Last but not the least for the recap is the battery for the Redmi Note 8 Pro. It has a large 4500 mAh battery. It's been a real trooper during our time with this device and has enough lasting power for my personal usage, giving me nearly 2 days worth of power before it zeroes out. Alright, recap done, let's get to the games, and we'll be featuring 4 titles in our gaming reviews from now on. So in this one, we're going to be taking a look at Mobile Legends, NBA 2K20, Call of Duty, and PUBG Mobile. Let's get cracking with the first title on the list, Mobile Legends, and here are the settings that we use on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Disappointingly, it does not have support for HFR mode, but we're guessing that it's the game that needs to be patched, so the processor on this device can be supported. Anyway, let's get to the gameplay. As you might have guessed, the average frame rate that we got is 30 frames per second at 100% stability. I definitely feel like it can max out at 60 FPS when the patch goes out to support the Helio G90T, but this might be a bit of a deal breaker for those of you who are big fans of this MOBA and urgently need a new phone. Okay, on to the next game, which is NBA 2K20. Now for this game, we were able to max out the settings all throughout with clock simulation and depth of field at very high. Now, here is some gameplay. It wasn't the smoothest experience playing NBA 2K20 on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, but it still gets passing marks. We got an average of 41 frames per second at 90% stability. It's definitely still playable, but if you want to get closer to 60 FPS, you'll want to drop down those settings a little bit. On to the next game, which is Call of Duty. We had the settings on very high with all of the options turned on, plus we tried it out on both multiplayer and Battle Royale so you get better looks at the metrics. First up is COD Battle Royale mode. The results were a little disappointing in this mode since we were only able to get 36 frames per second at 94% stability. It's still playable, but I did notice a few frame rate drops during firefights, which you definitely don't want to happen. I would recommend turning down the settings if this is the primary mode that you're going to be playing on COD. It's another story for multiplayer mode though, so here's a bit of gameplay footage. You're definitely getting a better experience here with 58 frames per second at 86% stability. You can definitely push the settings more on this mode, but you can still push the settings slightly lower to improve the stability. Now for the last game on the list, PUBG Mobile, and since the display does support HDR, we were able to turn that option on. As you can see, we've maxed out all the settings as well, so here's how the Redmi Note 8 handles this title. Now the metrics for this were a little disappointing since we only got an average of 38 frames per second at 86% stability, but it did feel a lot better than that while I was playing a few rounds. Driving around was smooth, and more importantly, firefights were incredibly stable as well. The numbers don't seem to add up on this one. Now, truth be told, the Helio G90T processor was one of the things that had me excited for the Redmi Note 8 Pro, but sadly, the metrics in this gaming review, the results were completely unexpected. MediaTek promised a flagship level gaming experience with this chipset, and the numbers just weren't as good as I hoped. They're good, but I was definitely expecting a lot more. But if you still want to check out the Redmi Note 8 Pro, it's priced at 11,490 pesos for the configurations with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. But if you want to max out to 128GB for all your apps and media, then you're gonna have to pay 12,990 pesos. Now, a lot of you have been asking where you can get this phone at those prices. I will leave a link down below for their Lazada flagship store, and yeah, check them out there. Now before I end the video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the folks over at Gamebench who help make these gaming reviews possible. So if you want to check them out, I'll leave a link to their website down below as well. So that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes with me. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest tech news and gadget reviews, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. My name is Jamie, peace, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.